Hello and welcome to this new episode on online self-paced trauma-informed Yin Yoga and Chinese Meridians course, all you need to know about this offer. There is a certain point many people reach in their relationship with Yin Yoga where the practice starts to bring up new or different questions. At first this can feel subtle. You are practicing regularly, maybe even teaching already, and you know Yin Yoga does something other yoga styles don't quite touch. It slows you down. It opens space. It brings you into contact with parts of yourself that are usually easier to bypass. And yet, at the same time, you might notice that some classes just leave you feeling strangely depleted, emotionally overwhelmed, or unsettled without really knowing why. For a long time, I experienced this myself, both as a student and as a practitioner. I loved Yin Yoga deeply, but I could sense that simply holding poses and staying still wasn't the full picture. There were layers moving underneath the surface, emotional, energetic, nervous system responses that weren't being named or held with enough care or understanding. And without that understanding, I was often holding space myself from my own depletion, thinking that self-sacrifice somehow makes me into a better teacher. What I have come to see over the past years is that Yin Yoga is not automatically regulating for the nervous system. Stillness is not automatically safe, and slowing down, especially for people who are sensitive, empathetic, or just used to being the ones who always hold everything together, can actually activate the nervous system just as much as it can soothe it. This is one of the biggest misunderstandings I see in the Yin Yoga world. People assume that because a practice is slow, it must be nourishing and safe. But without nervous system awareness, stillness can easily turn into endurance, pushing through, disassociation, or quiet overwhelm. Teachers can end up absorbing what is happening in the room. Practitioners can end up blaming themselves when emotions surface and they don't resolve. This is exactly the gap my self-paced online trauma-informed Yin Yoga course was created to fill. Not to add more information, not to make Yin Yoga more complicated, but to bring context, language, and safety to something that is already powerful, yet often held without enough understanding how the nervous system, emotions, and the body are actually working together. The heart of this training is my integrated signature approach, the Meridian Emotion Nervous System Yoga Method. This approach grew out of years of teaching, studying, burning out, reorienting, and listening more closely to what bodies were actually communicating in stillness. In this work, the Meridian system isn't just an abstract map from traditional Chinese medicine. It becomes a way of understanding how emotional patterns live in the body. Emotions aren't treated as problems to be fixed or released, but as physical impulses that need space, safety, and awareness to move through. And the nervous system becomes the translator, constantly assessing whether it's safe to soften or whether protection is still needed. When you start to see Yin Yoga through this approach, the practice changes entirely. Teaching changes. Even the way you relate to yourself changes. Many people come to this training thinking they want to learn how to teach better Yin Yoga classes. And they do, but what often surprises them is how much their own inner landscape shifts in the process. They become more attuned to themselves, less reactive, less effortful in how they hold space, kinder to themselves. They stop trying to get things right and start trusting their capacity to sense what is needed in the moment. This isn't about just perfect sequencing or saying the right words. It's about learning how to stay present when something real is happening in your own body first and then with others. It's about understanding your nervous system well enough that you are no longer teaching or practicing from a nervous system dysregulation. Because when you are regulated, you don't have to perform presence, you are presence. And people can feel that. The self-paced nature of this course is intentional. Facilitating this training live for years, I came to the realization that a 10 days intense immersion course does not suit everyone's nervous system. And while my live courses are also amazing, people coming together, evolving together, experiencing together in beautiful island surroundings, I often see that such immersion can also be quite overwhelming to the nervous system. I also understand that not everyone can travel to Southeast Asia for this course. So for a long time, I have been feeling the call to make this knowledge available to those who cannot just drop their busy lives for a getaway or simply prefer to absorb and integrate new knowledge at their own pace. The nervous system needs time to integrate, to feel, to make meaning. So you have lifetime access to the material, guided practices, all the reflections, and our community, along with regular live Q&A sessions where we meet and explore questions and topics together. So even in the online course, you are not alone and learning in isolation, but you have real-time connection to a community and myself. Some people take this training because they want to teach Yin Yoga. Others come because they want to understand themselves better. And both are welcome. What matters is not where you plan to go with it, but the openness you bring to this process. If you have been feeling that Yin Yoga means more than you have been taught so far, if you sense that there is a depth but haven't quite found the language or structure to hold it safely, this training was created with you in mind. Enrollment for the self-paced online course is currently open, and if what you are craving is a full immersion and embodiment, you are also welcome to join me in Thailand for the in-person training. If neither feels right yet, that's also okay. You can begin by exploring my free offerings, my Yin Reset practice, my trauma awareness webinar, or my ebook, and simply see how your nervous system responds to these. This work is not about pushing yourself into another certification or identity. It's about learning how to stay with what is already here in a way that is honest, resourced, and sustainable. I'm going to share the details of my online and live courses and all my free offerings in the description of this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I see you in the next one.